So apparently Shaq goes off on Anthony Edwards disrespecting Larry Bird, and this is a common thing that we've been seeing recently, while a lot of these athletes just been disrespecting or not even really prior acknowledging the ones who came before them, right? So we're just gonna check this out.
I think it's simple though. Grew up watching Dr. J, Magic, Mike, played with Kobe and all that. So I know what greatness looks like. So you want me to see this now and call it greatness? I can't. And I think it's my fault that the game is being played the way it's played now, because when I was dominating the post, you tried to bring in centers to bring me out from the post. And then we're all products of our generation, so shoot the jumper. So it's my fault that guys are playing soft, what I call it.
Anthony Edwards just shook the whole basketball world by saying Larry Bird had no skill, and Shaquille
That is insane. I would not expect Anthony Edwards to say that.
O'Neal did not take that lightly at all. When Edwards sat there and claimed nobody in the 1980s could really hoop except Michael Jordan, it hit people the wrong way fast. This wasn't just a bad take. It came off straight disrespectful to one of the fiercest competitors to ever touch a basketball. And when Shaq fired back, it didn't just silence Edwards. It cracked open a bigger issue with how the modern NBA looks at the past. By the time you hear what the legend said about Bird's real skill, you'll see why this might be one of the wildest comments a young player has ever made.
And check this out, any young audience I have that's my age or younger, take it to heart, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know for a fact of, like, the athletes back then, how good they were. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, so-and-so down the line, Dr. J, all of them, right? A lot of these newer players, recently, their era that they probably been inspired mostly came from the Michael Jordan era and then up, right? And they just don't care about the older generation. But this is why the older generation push so much and doesn't like the game how it is, because people refuse to go back and actually do their homework and knowledge and understand how the game was birthed, right?
Didn't watch it back in the day, so I can't speak on it. They say it was tougher back then than it is now, but I don't think anybody had skill back then. Michael Jordan was the only one that really had skill, you know what I mean? So that's why when they saw Kobe, they were like, oh my God, but now everybody has skill.
That is crazy take. That is a crazy take. Ah, man. Anthony, bro, this is kind of an L, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Not gonna lie to you, man. Come on, you know better than that.
Larry Bird had no skill? That's what Anthony Edwards is pushing. The same man who walked into the three-point contest, looked every competitor dead in the eye, and told them they were all fighting for second place. That guy had no skill? The same player who would tell defenders exactly where he was about to shoot when he was about to release it, and still hit the shot right in their face while they couldn't do anything about it. That's who Edwards called unskilled. What makes it even worse is Edwards admitted he never even watched old school NBA games. That means he spoke on a legend he doesn't even understand. But before getting into Shaq's response, you need to hear what Larry Bird really did on the court. Because once you hear it, this no skill talk sounds ridiculous.
Look, any player that goes in the NBA, we got to make this a thing. Before they go into the NBA, they need to take a full course on history on the basketball league that was birthed. Straight up. They got to go in there, you know what I'm saying? A full month, 2 months, a month or so. It could be a month. Just cramp. You ain't working. You know what I'm saying? The only thing you're working on is basketball. So a full month, you in there and you learn the history of these guys. And it really, you should be spending a little bit more than that. But I'm just saying, just so you can get a prior knowledge of who you're dealing with and who you're talking to. You know what I'm saying?
Bird comes in and says, which one of you is going to come in second place? Nobody said nothing?
Not a single player said anything in that locker room. Nobody spoke up because they all already knew Bird was about to win. That wasn't just confidence. That was dominance on another level. That's how skilled he was. His competition accepted defeat before it even started. And Bird didn't just talk big, he delivered every single time with cold precision. The way he played would make a lot of modern players look average in comparison.
He said, I'm gonna wait till you get one step away from me and I'm gonna shoot it right in your face. No, true story. So I got one step away, he shoots it all net, 3-pointer, good. Then he turned to me and said, You did all that running for nothing.
No question, you did all that running for nothing. Bird said that straight to a defender's face. He told him the shot was coming, waited for him to rush over, then dropped a perfect three that didn't even touch the rim. That's not just skill, that's control. That's mental warfare. And Bird never let up. Every game, every quarter, every possession, he stayed in your head. He would tell you what was about to happen, then go out and prove it anyway. That's the same player Anthony Edwards called unskilled.
He walked off and said, "Legend."
Which makes it sound even crazier. One word, that's all Bird needed after cooking someone. No celebrating, no extra moves, no showing off. Just handled business and walked away like it was normal. That's real presence. And now you see why Edwards' comments hit so hard. Because the players who actually went against Bird, the ones who felt that skill in real time, had something to say about it.
That's flagrantly disrespectful to the old guard. Larry Bird wasn't skilled.
To Magic.
Isaiah Thomas was one of the greatest skilled guards in the history of basketball. Magic Johnson was a 6'9" point guard. We had never seen anything like him.
Flagrantly disrespectful to the old god. That's how the basketball community described Edwards' take, and they meant it. Bird won 3 straight MVPs in a league stacked with Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Isaiah Thomas, and Julius Erving. Calling him unskilled isn't just wrong. It shows a lack of respect for the game's history from someone who admitted he never studied it. And the wild part? Bird actually spoke on this whole era debate himself, but not in the way people expected at all.
Every decade's different. The game changes. They always try to compare players now to back in the 80s and 70s, and which you cannot do. It's a whole different ball game.
Bird didn't come back angry or loud about it. He stayed calm and just said comparing eras doesn't really work because the game keeps changing every decade. But what he didn't say is what really stands out. Respecting the players who came before you isn't optional. It's part of the game, and that's exactly where Anthony Edwards missed badly.
And this is why the NBA is in the situation that it's in now, right? Like, of course, you got still millions of people watching it, but you lose a lot of core fans who are big on the history of the basketball itself, the association of NBA. And I'm seeing a current push between the younger generation that's coming in from the era from the 90s and back, and really, to be honest, the 80s and back is where they're being the most disrespectful. The only one they really respect from that era is MJ. And that's they don't really too much care about going back. And there's so much cookies, so much nuggets in that era. In those eras back then, even to the 60s and further back, like there's so much cookies that they just don't get to witness nor learn from. So
that slip up is what pulled Shaquille O'Neal straight into the conversation, and he did not hold back at all. When Shaq heard those comments about Bird and the older generation, he didn't try to be polite or careful. He went straight at it with full force.
I think it's simple though. Grew up watching Dr. J, Magic, Mike, played with Kobe and all that. So I know what greatness looks like. So you want me to see this now and call it greatness? I can't.
Shaq grew up watching Dr. J dominate. He ran alongside Kobe Bryant during one of the most powerful dynasties ever. He faced Michael Jordan on the court and felt that level of greatness up close. So when someone from this era says the old NBA had no skill, Shaq isn't guessing. He knows for real. And he's saying today's game doesn't measure up. And when people tried to call him a hater, Shaq shut that down quick.
If you ain't great and I'm great, how the f can I hate on you? That don't make no sense. I'm in the building. You're not in the building.
4
Talk to him, Shaq. Talk to him.
Championships, 3 finals MVPs, one of the most dominant forces the league has ever seen. That's not someone speaking from the sidelines. That's someone who already reached the top. His message is simple. You can't call it hate when someone already did more than you. Shaq climbed that mountain and is looking down from the top. And from his view, a lot of modern players aren't even close. But here's where things got even sharper. Shaq didn't just go after the whole era. He separated the real competitors from the rest. A couple of them could play. That's how he put it. talking about an entire league full of players making huge money. He can count the ones he respects on one hand. Everyone else, he didn't even bother naming them because they already know.
Joker could play, Giannis could play, Dame, a couple of these guys could play, but a lot of these can't play.
Then Shaq said something that flipped the whole conversation. He didn't just blame modern players, he admitted part of the change in the game came from him.
And I think it's my fault that the game is being played the way it's played now, because when I was dominating the post, to try to bring in centers to bring me out from the post. And then we're all products of our generation, so shoot the jumper. So it's my fault that guys are playing soft, what I call it.
His
You know, I would say that was a time in the era where, as Kobe, Shaq, and them were in, it started to change too. You know what I'm saying? The game started to change a lot differently, especially like as he was saying, as him being one of those post guards. You know, they played the position a little bit different than the traditional post, but they still was doing traditional stuff. And you know, it's just, it comes with the territory. You know, you're like when Stephen Curry came in and he was shooting threes, right? For better, for worse, it made it entertaining, but at the same time, now everybody think they can shoot threes when really they're not 3-point specialists like Stephen Curry. Anyways, man, what you guys think? I have the link in the rest of this video down in the description. I didn't realize that Anthony Edwards actually said something like that about the eras before him, and it's just interesting that these are what the players now today think, and they getting paid millions upon dollars, and they don't know anything of the history of the association of players that came before them, but they're getting paid millions of dollars. I mean, it's insane. Anyways, what you guys think? Of course, Anthony Edwards, he's talented, but it's like, if you really don't even see the greatness in the players that came before you, that had championships, all-time leading scorers, MVPs, stuff like that, then like he's missing out himself. That's it. You know, that's really all it is.